मन को मृतक देखी के मति माने विश्वास, साधु तहाँ लो भय करे, जो लो फिकर सास कबीरा, जो लो फिकर पिंजर सास। सॉरी, मन को मृतक देख के मति माने विश्वास, साधु तहाँ लो भय करे, जो लो पिंजर सास कबीरा, जो लो पिंजर सास। Now, the title given to this doha is Beware the Mind. Beware. If your mind is quiet for some time, don't believe. It will deceive you. Now, wise men fear their mind and strive to keep it under their control. Sadhu tahan jo lo bhai kare. Bhai, the sadhu, the wise people, fear their own mind. So how wise you are depends on whether you treat your mind with caution or you give a license to your mind. The ignoramuses give a license to their mind. The real wise people are aware, beware of their mind, what their mind is up to. Now, simple question, why should you fear your mind? Three reasons why you should fear your mind is because of its nature. I'll explain it. The three reasons why you should fear your mind is the nature of the mind is such that it clouds your wisdom. The nature of the mind clouds your wisdom. Point two, today your mind is very strong because you have led a life where you have fed it. So it is very well fed and strong. Thirdly, you don't have the capacity to handle it. Three reasons why you should be fearful of the mind: because of its nature, and the nature of it clouds your wisdom. Second, you have made it strong. Third, you don't have the strength to handle it. Now, before I get into the nature briefly explaining, you know it all, but just put it in the context. The whole point of satsang is not to give you fresh information. There's something new you'll always learn, but the whole objective is reiteration. That's the whole point of satsang. That's a point of association of this knowledge. So, in the third chapter of the Gita, the 39th verse, please refer to it where you can fall back onto that verse. He says, Avritam jnanametena jnanino nitya vairinaha kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha. Says, Avritam jnanametena. He says, O Kaunteya Arjuna, wisdom is covered by this constant enemy of the wise. So what covers the wisdom is the enemy. The enemy, he says, in the form of desire, which is again the nature of the mind. So the desire which is a constant enemy of the wise, which is insatiable as fire. Dushpure, analena. Analena means fire. It's like dushpure. It is insatiable, he says. So wisdom is covered by this constant enemy. And the nature of the mind. So you need to, so the wise, as I've said, fear it. Very, very cautious. They deal it with great caution. It's like you are handling fire, he says. Wherever there is fire, you are very careful, isn't it? Even when I'm lighting the lamp, I'm very careful. You're not cautious that matchstick will burn you. It can be a small matchstick, it burns you. Beware, watchful, careful. You may say it's matchstick. In fact, in the extreme dry temperatures, the huge conflagration which consumes hundreds of thousands of acres in the wild, it all starts with a little negligence of a small picnic somebody has had, and they have not put out their flint fire. They have not taken care of the freak way it starts, and the end result is thousands of acres are burned because the soil is conducive. So dry weather, extreme heat, there is soil. It just needs a spark. So beware of the potential that little spark can do. It's not little inconspicuous. It's not insignificant fire. It's what that fire can do. It can burn down the whole forest. That's why they compare the mind to the fire. Insatiable. It is not satisfied. Your mind will only be satisfied after it destroys you. Do you realize that? You will not. You have no awareness. There is no awareness in you, nor is there education that your mind, what it can do to you. You get it? So, because of this, not many are afraid of the mind, especially the younger generation. They have completely no clue. There is no concept of this wisdom. There is no concept of the intellect. There is no concept of supervising the mind. So the best, what have you done? You have sent your children, grandchildren out into the world and say, go not conquer the world. How are you conquer? How will they conquer? You think they have got the intellect on their shoulders? You think, you believe that? Please don't tell me that. You will spend hundreds and thousands of dollars and send them to the best of education institutions in the world. You'll fund them, go abroad, live, educate, thinking that degree is going to add a great color to your life. You've not taught how to live life. You're not taught them how to drive, and you put them in a Formula One circuit. Formula One is the circuit where the cars drive at extraordinary speed. A fellow who doesn't know driving is in a Formula One circuit. What would happen? Irreparable damage. You don't know. And all you know is you have made some money and you want to live a life where you have access to it. If you ask me, would I want to send my child to any higher education abroad? I will not. Because I know this girl is not prepared to make the right choices. And one wrong choice finished. I will not. As long as I can give her a guidance and protection in an environment which is conducive, I can choose to a large extent. The child can go wrong here also. But at least there is a supervision. At least there is guidance. There's an opportunity to fall back. But when you go abroad, when you go into an unknown land, into a world where there is far greater license, there's license to do anything and there is no supervision, what would happen? And then your mind plays tricks with you. What does your mind say? Chalo yaar. There's nothing wrong. Everybody is having a drink. What is wrong in having a drink? Your mind will say. Everybody is going to the club and the pub. What is wrong? Weekend, what is else to do? Why we go? Everybody is doing that. Why not I do that? Your mind teases you and convinces you that what you're doing is right. And that's it. That's it. Once you fall a prey, it's like once the water seeps into your house, there's one leakage. Water seeps through that, it will come and inundate your house and destroy you. It's like the water has that capacity. It will find a small hole, it'll come through that and destroy you. The mind needs one avenue to enter and then destroys you. It's like, say, you're going on a long holiday. 2 months you'll be away abroad. So you made sure you have installed security cameras. You have bought good locks. You refurbished the existing locks. You've got lock. You're locked up, whatever possible. But what you have done is you have left one of the windows unlocked, or one of the doors unlocked, let's say, behind door. You have left it unlocked. That thief will enter from that door and he'll open up all other doors. That little avenue he needs. You may have put solid locks in the front door, but one avenue you have to open, he'll come in and destroy it. That is the mind. You don't know what your mind can do to you. It's the ignorance and the arrogance you have that you know what life is. The moment you know what your mind can do, the wise are always beware of the mind. If you're not beware of the mind, it is your own ignorance and arrogance. And there's no way you can talk to people who are ignorant and arrogant. That's the reason a guru will only give knowledge to someone who comes and seeks it, understands their folly, understands their lacuna, understands what this knowledge can do to their lives. It's impossible to talk to people who think they know. Arrogance, they think, I know what I'm doing is right. I remember my guru used to say, people run to, especially United States. I remember talking 30 years ago when he used to say that those days. People want green card. People want citizenship. He used to say green card is red card, danger card, that is. If they'll call you and give you also, don't take it, Rah, he'll say. Danger, that country is danger. Oh, no, it's good to go and visit, but once you live there, it's finished, disaster. And I can't say much to people if they don't understand, because they don't know the danger. So the nature of the mind, why do you need to fear, beware of the mind? What is its nature? There are few reasons, something which you're familiar, but I'll mention so that you are aware. One of the natures of the mind is it constantly generates desires. I've mentioned in the 39th verse of chapter 3, it constantly generates desires, and those desires are innumerable and insatiable. 2 points. The desire that you entertain is endless and insatiable. Continuous. Desires keep on coming and it's insatiable. You can never satisfy the desire that you entertain, and that is endless. Point 1. Point 2, your mind develops constant attachments. Wherever there is an attachment, remember 2 aspects happen. There is sorrow and suffering. An extreme attachment, you lose what you're attached to. And one who is attached to it will not even realize why they have lost it. See, either you realize it with knowledge or experience. Many people don't even realize with experience that I've lost something because of my attachment to it. So if you're attached to something, you suffer. That's the initial phase. You're attached to it, extreme attachment, you lose the object of attachment. Point 3, your mind constantly generates likes and dislikes. And once you are operating on the likes and dislikes that your mind has generated, Raga dvesha. Like is raga, dislike is dvesha. So when you have likes and dislikes to certain things and certain people and certain situations and circumstances, the likes and dislikes, what do you do when you operate on likes and dislikes? You're constantly frustrated. You're constantly complaining. Why are you frustrated and complaining? Because the world is not satisfying to your wants and your likes. I like someone to be nice to me. At least say hello, good morning, and smile to me and say, how are you? Once in a while, at least. Not every day, once in a while. How long does it take for you to send a message at least? No message at all, no call at all. You like something to happen. The world doesn't happen that way. Why? You're frustrated, you're complaining. So you operate on likes and dislikes. You will complain, you will be frustrated that the world is not catering to you. The world is not designed, the world is not made to satisfy you. Beware. Point 3. Point 4, your mind constantly creates worries of the past and anxieties of the future. Worries of the past and anxieties of the future. You are never happy and never satisfied. Not satisfied, rather, never happy. Put that way. You're never happy, never at peace, because your mind is constantly rambling. You're never happy. Why are you not happy? Because you're not in the present. Happiness is always related to the present. Since your mind is in the past and future, not in the present, you're never happy. Point 5, your mind nature is asthira and chanchala. The nature of the mind is constantly unstable. And it is fidgety. Even if it's at a place, it's fidgety. So it's restless. So when the mind is restless, you're not able to put your mind to anything. You can't achieve anything because your mind is fidgety, it's restless, it's constantly wavering. So this gives you an idea what your mind does to you. And above this, your mind is very strong and obstinate. It will not budge. Add to this, the 6th quality, the nature of the mind is very obstinate and strong. And the 7th point, it can gather momentum without a warning. That's the first line of the Doha, isn't it? If your mind is quiet for some time, don't believe it. It will deceive you now. So don't fall a prey to what your mind makes you feel. And it's all playing tricks with you. Just because it's calm for a while doesn't mean it's your friend. Watch out, this fellow. Very dangerous, very, very dangerous fellow. As I'm talking, and I could hear the sound. I don't think you all heard it. You can't hear it. I heard a sound. I could see in the camera a coconut fell. The lone coconut tree in the compound of the center, the coconut fell. So whenever I'm doing any work around that tree, doing gardening, I'm all the time looking up. When is that fellow going to fall? When is that going to fall? And only faith I have is people say that it has never happened that coconut has ever fallen on anybody. Gayatri Ma told me, so I am trusting her completely. Gayatri Ma, you're my savior. If at all the coconut falls, the medical bill and hospitalization, you take care, I'm telling you. Because of you, I'm standing under the coconut and doing the gardening work. Don't tell me, why did you stand under the coconut? Don't blame me.
I will say you should have the intellect to decide, no?
Oh, what to decide? I have surrendered. I don't have the intellect. I don't have the knowledge. I surrendered to you. You said, Guruji, it has never happened that nobody ever suffered a coconut falling on the head.
Yes, Guruji, that is true.
But if it falls in open class, I'm telling you are my savior. Okay.
Yes, Guruji, done.
Done. Kashish, you are testimony to it. You have heard that she's saying yes, huh? All right. Kashish, so what are the 7 points that we made?
Hariom Guruji.
There you go.
You said the first point was that the desires you entertain are endless and insatiable. And then desires obviously being a product of the mind. The 2, your mind develops constant attachments, and that leads to sorrow, suffering, and in the extreme form, losing what you're attached to. 3, you said the mind constantly generates likes and dislikes, which means that you're constantly frustrated and complaining because the world is not catering to those likes and dislikes. 4, your mind constantly creates worries of the past and anxieties of the future, when happiness is usually in the present. 5, the nature of the mind is constantly unstable, fidgety, and restless. 6, your mind is very obstinate and strong. It won't budge. And 7, your mind can gather momentum without a warning.
Perfect. Only thing you add, which I have not mentioned, the first point, when you said desires are endless, innumerable, and insatiable. Okay, that's 2 elements we have said. And then addition to that, we should also add the modifications of desires. Modifications here are the various emotions.
Understood.
So it could be anger, it could be jealousy, it could be envy, it could be fear, etc. So I've just mentioned a few. So all these emotions arise from desire, and all of this cause a great force to reckon. It's very difficult to deal with. It's like the force when there's a hurricane that is visiting, or that's going to fall on a seashore, or the city that is expecting that hurricane. What do? You just have to prepare so that you don't suffer serious damage. There is less loss of livelihood, stock, and things don't get damaged. In fact, after hurricane, they're only taking stock what all has gone, what all is safe, isn't it? You can't do much. So and what is the difference between a pleasant breeze as you are standing in a balcony on overlooking a beach? What is the difference between a pleasant breeze from the same sea? You get the pleasant sea breeze vis-a-vis the hurricane. What's the difference?
Would it be how sturdy you are in response to it?
You will not be able to stand in the momentum of the hurricane. While the hurricane is hitting that city, you will not be able to stand there. You'll be blown away, isn't it? But what's the difference between a pleasant breeze and a hurricane? In fact, based on the speed of the wind, there are different terms given. You know, I don't know. There's a study, and there are certain names. It doesn't. I don't get quick hold of those names. But based on the speed of the wind, the name you give a different name. So the difference between a pleasant breeze and hurricane is just the momentum. And the point is, Seventh point, it doesn't give you any warning. At least here you're given a forecast, you know it's going to come. But at least the mind doesn't give you anything. How long does it take for you to lose your temper? How long does it take for you to get irritated with something? A drop of a hat, you can lose your temper. Till then, you're quiet. Suddenly, there's an outburst of emotion, anger, hatred, jealousy, fit of rage. No, it doesn't give you a chance. Once you get into that momentum, you've fallen a prey to it. Then you only feel remorseful after that. You feel, oh my God, what have I done? And that moment, you have no control. So the mind doesn't give you a chance to control yourself and handle yourself well. It just happens as a flash and you fall a prey. Isn't it, Kashish? So 7 points. So the 3 reasons why you should be fearful of the mind, I repeat again, because of the nature of the mind, and all of this cloud your wisdom. Now you know how all this clouds your wisdom. Desire and modifications, likes and dislikes, attachments, worries and anxiety, being restless and fidgety, the nature of how the mind is strong and obstinate, and it can give in at any moment and take over your life. All of this makes it so powerful that it clouds your wisdom. It is strong and you have no capacity to control. These are the reasons why you should beware the mind. The wise strive to keep it under control. It's not in as much as how much you have controlled it. It is a question of, are you continuously striving to bring it under control? So it's not the question of how much you control it. The accent is on striving to. So the effort should never stop. It's like not how healthy you are today. You're continuously exercising to remain healthy or improve your health. Oh, I've been exercising for so many years. I don't think I have to exercise anymore. Okay, you think so? Okay, please stop it. It's a matter of time. You will be in serious condition. You continuously have to exercise. Oh, am I to exercise completely? Ashrama is saying, oh, am I to exercise all my life, Guruji? You're being very unrealistic. All my life, I got to go for a walk in the morning and evening. All my life, I got to do this and do that. Yes, ma. You have to do that. If you want a healthy body, you got to do that. Similarly, you want to deal with this mind which is strong and obstinate, you will have to exercise your intellect, keep striving to control it, supervise it, discipline it all through your life. It's not how much you have controlled or not. That's not the point. Question is, are you striving?